Welcome to Doyle Spillane Real Estate. We've been at home on the Northern Beaches for the last 40 years. We're a boutique independent agency with a clear focus on achieving the best possible outcome for our clients every single time. Welcome to episode 4 of the DS Download. Today we are joined by two very special people to me. They have a big impact on my life. They own a boutique gym and fitness space in Freshwater/Brookvale opposite Freshwater campus on the Northern Beaches. Mike and Kristy Battaglia. They are wonderful people. I always pronounce it Battaglia, but I've just been told the G is silent, so it's Battaglia.
Yes.
Kristy and Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by today. I just want to start with how you've now got an extremely successful gym. You focus on so many things from boxing to core strength to inner health and fitness. How did you get to this space? How did it begin?
I think, Maddie, we had a really good story after COVID for our business. We used to work for a commercial chain called Fitness First for many, many years. So when COVID hit, Mike and I lost our jobs on the same day. And we had loads of clients asking us to still continue trading, right? So we kind of had to think about what we were going to do. We didn't really want to go outside in the parks. We had a little gym set up in our garage. So we started training a few people there. And because we live on the main road, people started seeing it on the bus, walking past. And soon enough, we had people walking up the driveway asking for training.
So was that in 2020?
It was in 2020, yes.
Yeah, wow.
Right. So I'd be on the driveway training groups. Mike would be in the garage with 20 or 30 people.
Yeah.
And the business just grew from there. And then soon enough, we thought, this isn't sustainable. I can't have men, women walking through my house at 8 o'clock at night in stinky boxing gear, wanting to use the toilet. So we started looking for a site and we found the Brookvale site.
Yeah, great spot there.
It's a great spot.
Amazing. And so tell me a little bit about your past. Were you always into health and fitness? Then I'll start with you, Kristy, and then I'll speak to Mike about that as well. Tell us about your history in fitness and health.
I think, Maddie, I always did fitness from a young teenager as a side hustle. Like I started teaching classes, then I went and did a business degree at uni and thought that I'd go in the corporate sector.
Yeah.
I tried that for about 2 years and realised that I couldn't sit still behind a desk all day. No offence, but I know you don't do that. I kind of do. I just had itchy feet. I wanted to train all the time and walk around. So I got back into health and fitness and became a personal trainer. And then I had a few opportunities to work overseas with The Biggest Loser and for the Singaporean health government.
How did that come about?
I saw an advert at Fitness First and I thought, this is a long shot. Like they're looking for a trainer for Asia. I'm not going to get it. My mum's part Chinese, but I thought I'll give it a go. I'll put an audition tape in. And they kept calling me. And then within 3 weeks, they came out and met me. And within 4 weeks, they're like, we need you to move to Malaysia. So it was literally packing up all my stuff, moving to Malaysia, leaving our son Connor with Mike full time, which was extremely hard for both of us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
how old was Connor and how long were you in Malaysia for?
He was 5 and you did 4 months the second time and 5 months the second year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did 2 seasons and they thrust me into Kuala Lumpur, which was a huge cultural shock.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then where was the first one filmed? It was in a small town south of Kuala Lumpur and it was a huge cultural shift for me. Yeah. Anyway, so I got the job and here I was training sort of 8 contestants for the rec team from all over Asia.
Wow.
And
great experience.
It was fabulous. It was really hard work. I was really homesick.
I bet.
But yeah, and then I got a job with the Singaporean health government promoting health and fitness for Singaporeans.
Yep.
So spent a bit of time there.
So it's always been in your blood, health and fitness?
Always.
Yep.
I love it. I think, Maddie, I can speak for both of us. We've been fortunate to find something that we love. So coming to work for us is pretty easy.
It's fantastic. You spend a lot of time and dedication doing what you do. And I see it and I see all the long weekends that you're training people, the late nights and the early mornings. And it's something that you really have to love. Mike, tell us about your past. Did you grow up on the Northern Beaches?
Yeah, my nan and non bought in freshie for just under £2,000.
Wow. That would have been in the
Oh,
50s?
yeah, I'm not sure. And
Yeah.
my dad's still in that place. And when you talk about real estate,
Yes.
yeah, they bought then, and the house has been in our family. And I was gonna play rugby league. That's all I was gonna do.
You enjoyed rugby league growing up. That
I
was your
played
key
rugby
sport?
league as a kid. Played
Yep.
my juniors at Manly, and it was rugby league or nothing.
Yep.
And then it turned out to be nothing. So,
What happened? Did you have an injury or
I had
something?
some
or-
injury. I had some mental health issues, and you also do probably need to come to the fact maybe I wasn't good enough.
Yep.
But
I came to that fact too.
Yeah.
Very early.
But I had some injuries, and I had some mental health issues, and then I was without footy and finished school and left school, walked into Fitness First, asked for a job at 17 and left there 23 years later to start FORMA. So I've just been in the gym my whole life, basically.
And how did you, when you stopped playing footy, how old were you?
I was 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty young to make that decision. And then did you go straight into health and fitness straight after that? Did you go straight in after
I
that?
walked into Fitness First, asked for a job, and didn't know what the job would become. I just knew I didn't want to sit behind a desk. I wanted to do something in sport. Wasn't smart enough to do physio or any of those other things. So just didn't know the job was going to become what it became, but so glad that it has.
Yeah, what a blessing, hey?
Yeah.
I know your passion is boxing.
Yep.
And that's how I remember walking into your gym. I had a history of martial arts, more of a recreational martial artist. I'd done a little bit of boxing. I had a great mentor with martial arts in Anthony Lange, who you probably know from the fitness area. Yeah. And then I did a little bit of boxing up with Glove Box up there. And he was retiring. God bless him. He was retiring, and he was a really nice man. I remember going, where am I going to train? What am I going to do? And there's a gym that's 200 meters up the road from where I live that I've been driving by and walking by, and I've never looked in there. And I walked in there one day, and you were sitting in the corner, and you were at the front desk, and I just said, "Oh, do you mind if I do a little bit of training?" And I remember you welcomed me with open arms, and I thought, well, when my current coach retires, I'll come down and spend a couple of years now. And it's been a wonderful 2 years. So how did you transition from rugby league into boxing, Mikey?
As much as my dad won't like it, he was probably responsible for it. I remember we had Jeff Fennick t-shirts when we were kids. There's a photo somewhere of me. I got boxing gloves on my 4th birthday. And we used to go watch Costa Zoo at the Diggers. You probably remember that.
I do.
We used to go watch Costa Zoo at the Diggers, and then it was always in us. And then when footy didn't work out, I just went to the fight gym in Manly. We went there for footy training a few times, and I just loved it. So,
How long were you training there at the fight gym at Manly?
sporadically, but truth be told, I had a boxing match I probably shouldn't have had. I was in the crowd and went to watch. And then someone pulled out, and boxing was a little bit more lax back in the day. And my friend said he'll do it. And before I knew it, I was boxing 9 kilos up, and I never shit my pants so hard in my life.
How'd you go?
I lost a split decision against a guy at the time who had 16 fights. I remember the doctor shined a light in my eyes and said, he's good to go. No blue book, no nothing. And that was after that I lost, and I hid from the world for like 12 years. So I was so scared of losing.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, wow. So you had that fight, and then you kept training in boxing. Did that spur you on to learn how to get better?
I probably trained harder than anyone that was fighting at the time.
Yeah.
Like just with the fear of fighting. Didn't want to fight. Didn't want to lose.
You were traiking,
Yeah.
and you were perfecting the skill set and the art of
I was
it.
kind of leading myself. I didn't know what was going on, but I would train because I didn't want to feel like that again.
Who was training you?
Myself and my brother. And then
Is he older brother?
he's 18 months older.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what was going on. And I look back now, and we're doing a lot of dumb shit, to be fair.
Yeah.
Sparring a lot with little gloves, and then I met Uncle Aaron.
Aaron Nabel. Yep. Yeah. That's sorry. It's all right, mate. That's totally fine, mate. Yeah. take a breath, mate. It's totally fine. It's funny what comes out when you're talking about history. And he was kind of like a mentor to you, Aaron, and trained you.
I heard about Aaron, and he was at fitness first, and I walked up to him and said, "Will you train me?" He said, "No, I don't jump."
You have to prove it.
Yeah, he wasn't like, he said, I don't train anyone.
Yeah,
and
he was just training himself.
He was just doing weights.
Yeah.
And then when I asked him again, "Will you train me?" He said no. And then I just kept asking. I think he was just so sick of me asking. And then he said yes. And then the first session we did with him, we did some sparring, and it was fitness first, not a boxing gym.
No.
So it was like where everyone can see.
In a corner.
Yeah.
I remember. I remember you used to see Hopper up there and another guy. We're all geary, trained guys up there, and I'd sometimes come up there and have a look, and I'd sometimes jump in myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
And it wasn't even out the back at the time. It was on
Yeah,
the
no,
gym floor.
I remember it was in that corner, in that northern corner. Yeah.
And Aaron like proper beat the shit out of me in front of like the whole gym.
So you had to relive it all over again.
Well, I was pretty disheartened, because probably like you, if I do something, I want to be the best at it. And I knew Aaron was very good, and I knew if that's what it takes, I don't have that.
No.
But then after a day, I wanted to get that. So I just kept showing up with him.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Wow. Amazing. I guess all of those things shape you for the trainer that you are now. And when I walked in there and I saw the way you are with your fighters, and even the people that aren't fighters, like I walked in there as a recreational guy and I said, look, I've done a bit of jiu-jitsu and now I want to learn boxing at a deeper level than what I've been doing. I actually was 50 at the time, and you didn't look at me and go, really, mate, you're a 50-year-old real estate agent. You welcomed me, both of you welcomed me, encouraged me, and, helped me to improve, which was really important for me, and helped me a lot with the work that I do in real estate, quite a mentally fatiguing and emotion driven. And to be able to get up in the morning and go to a space like yours and encompass health and fitness and learn. I always like to learn stuff. So I did jiu-jitsu because I like learning it. And a byproduct of it is good and bad. The good is I learned something and evolved and improved and learned to deal with hardship and pain and resilience and all of that. That was the good stuff. And also the bad stuff is the injuries and the body that's pretty messed up now. But yeah, I always found when I walked into the gym and I just saw the way you interact with people and your staff, your clients, and just your whole philosophy around what you do. It's about having people be better than when they met you, when they leave your presence. Tell us about that philosophy. How did that evolve?
I think too, Maddie, before we opened FORMA, Mike and I got together and we were pretty clear about what values we wanted to bring to FORMA. And we saw a gap in the market, which we called the missing middle. So it wasn't focusing on the 20 and 30-year-olds. It was focusing on people our age. And I'll put you in the category of our age.
That's nice.
And you'd like that. And so we wanted to focus on the missing middle, people who wanted to train for longevity, people who want to feel better, people who want more energy so they can do their jobs, or people who want to come back to a sport after they haven't, since they were young, and they've now got a little bit more time and the finances to do so. So we're really clear about who our target market was. And the other philosophy we had was meaning more to less people.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do what all the commercial gyms were doing, which was mass people, no coaching, just a number, forgotten about. So we wanted to have a small private space where we could keep an eye on everybody. We know everybody's birthdays, we know everybody's names. And it wasn't about doing multiple sites over Sydney. We just want to keep it small and look after the people that we've got.
Yeah.
So that was what we were really clear on before we opened FORMA.
Yeah, it shines through. Our business is similar. We've toyed with going really big, but we're sort of in that boutique space as well. We just find it's more intimate. We don't have to be the biggest. We don't have to sell the most. But the people that we do look after, we want to look after them as best as we can. We don't always get it right, but we strive to get it right. And I know you guys do the same. What I also notice, I've seen kids that walk in there, and I've been going 2 years maybe, and I've seen kids 2 years ago that have walked in there that didn't have a lot of confidence, and I see them now, and they walk with a spring in their step. They're mentally strong, they're physically strong, they're learning, they're growing, they're improving, they're evolving, and they're becoming like powerful human beings. So I see young boys and girls that are doing that. And then I see that the other side of it, like my age, I'm 57 this year, and you've got such a strong masters troop of fighters and boxers as well. And I know the last 3 years you've been named Australian Masters Gym of the Year? Is it the last 3 years?
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
2 or
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's not only that you have great success in the tournaments, and a lot of the fighters that do come through there have great success, but I noticed the last time you won it, it wasn't the most successful year in terms of results, but you still got the award because of what you give when you go to the tournaments. You corner other gyms, you encourage people, you're kind, you're caring. It's a totally different philosophy to what I thought boxing was. I would have been, worried to walk into a boxing gym as a young guy, just not knowing if I'd be in that safe environment. And I think it's a credit that your environment is safe for the young teenagers that are learning, and also the more mature people that don't want to, they've still got a little bit of fight in them or a little bit of something in them. And you encourage that. So that's wonderful. Kristy, besides what you do in the gym, what do you do for your own physical fitness? Because you're obviously extremely fit, and I think you're into gymnastics now.
Yes.
And I know you've done masters boxing. You don't look like a masters boxer, but I know you're very competent. And when I spar with you, I know that you've done quite a bit.
Oh,
So tell us about your other passions and what you're doing outside of the business.
I think, Maddie, I always had dreams as a child to do gymnastics, but just for whatever reason didn't get the opportunity to.
Yeah.
So now that I'm in my 40s, I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a crack.
So you never did it as a
Never did it
Oh,
as a
wow.
child.
That's
And
great.
I'd take our daughter Matilda to gymnastics, and I'd sit there and watch. And I thought, I'm going to give this a crack. And the first week, I tore both my hamstrings doing a round off because my body was just physically not prepared. I may look strong and fit,
Yes.
but I had no
Was that
dynamic.
specific?
Yeah, no dynamic flexibility. So the moment I tried to do something sharp and fast, hamstrings.
Yeah.
So it took a little while for my body to become conditioned, but I fell in love with the sport, much like you boys love boxing. And for me, I have more time where I can dedicate to it. It gives my week some focus. It keeps me strong. I can do the splits again.
Wow. How often do you do it? How often do you train?
I probably train gymnastics 4 times a
Wow,
week.
that's amazing.
I'd do it every day, Maddie, if I could. I've got to run a business and a family. And so, yeah, I now compete in masters competitions, and I compete not just in the female events, but also the male events. And yes, I have done a fight in the past,
Yeah.
and I regret not doing more of them, but never say never.
No, you're still young. And Mikey, thank you for that. With your boxing, you explained your first fight and how it made you feel. Yep. And as someone that knows what it's like to get in the ring and do those things where most people don't, how did you overcome that? And what would you say to your fighters when they're worried about that same thing? What if I lose? What if I walk in there and I embarrass myself? What if I get knocked out? Like, these are real fears that people have.
Yeah, I think you asked about our gym and what we do differently. And for me, it's really important that we get to a place that someone understands it is perfectly okay not to win. It's perfectly okay to lose. I have a real issue with not trying. And I have a real issue with not trying because of one or two things, which whether it be what you guys do or anything in life, if you're worried about failing or what other people think, you're setting yourself up to fail regardless. So I can handle people losing boxing matches. I'm happy for you to lose, but I'm not happy for you not to try because you're worried about someone who's never thrown a punch thinks, or failing or letting someone down. I just can't cop that, and that probably comes from my personal experience. And so we're huge on that. You just, like with the masters as well, people have wanted to do this their whole life, and the master is just as important as the kid representing Australia, or if not more important, because like you, I'm a father first, and then I'm a husband, then I'm a businessman, then I fight time for boxing after that. So I have more respect for the masters than I do anyone else. And masters are just, they're still kids with dreams. It's just 50 years of childhood trauma that says they can't do it.
Yeah.
So I just want them to do it.
That's wonderful. Yeah, no, it's fantastic that you've sort of gravitated into that space, and to walk in there and just to be encouraged to do something that you're fearful of, and even at an older age, it's hard to process all of that, and to have someone like you guys that can show people that it's okay to lose, that it's not okay to not try.
Yeah.
It's not okay to not give effort. It's not okay to not prepare. They're the things.
It's hard, no, but regret is harder.
It is.
Like, I had anxiety, and it started to attack on my boxing. And I was most worried about having a panic attack in the boxing ring. And I remember driving to a fight, hoping that I have a car accident, so I wouldn't have to fight. And I took a Valium before the fight.
Did you? Just to slow you.
I've never drunk alcohol. I don't know what drugs look like. I don't. Yeah. And I took a Valium because I didn't want to do a fight, but I didn't want to have a panic attack. And I lost the fight. I still think I won, but I lost the fight. And I never wanted to be in that position again. So I went home, had a cry, and then just booked one fight after another. Yeah. The only way to get past it was just keep doing it.
Did you find that each time you fought, you got a little bit better with dealing 100%. With the anxiety?
Yeah. And they call it graded exposure. But it's really, if you want to learn Italian, go to Italy. It's called immersion. Just throw yourself in there, and it gets less and less daunting every time. And now I'm angry at myself for the 12, 13 years I didn't do what I could have been doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And now you're doing it. You're doing it well. For those of you that don't know, Mikey is actually a world masters boxing champion. He is a complete and amazing boxer. Whenever I get in the ring with him, I wish I didn't, because he teaches me a lesson. That's why I keep coming back, so I can learn and one day try and emulate what he's doing. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for people that have gone through trauma or tough times, and instead of hiding in a corner and having regret or blame, replacing that and transmuting that into positive. And for you, obviously boxing, health and fitness, wellness, and then not only doing that, but then using all of your experiences and your valuable life experiences to give to your fighters and your family, and all the other people that love you for who you are. And like, you've got an amazing winning record in boxing, and I love that you do. But what I love more about you is the fact that through adversity, through tough times, through things that have not been easy, you've shown what it's like to get up, to get on with it, to face your fears, and to never stop trying. And that's what that when I wanted to invite you in to talk, we're a real estate office, and we normally talk about real estate things, but there's not enough talk about mental health, physical health, spirituality, whatever you're into that makes your life easier. And what I find amazing, everyone that walks in your gym, and when I'm in there, I see people, they're hating it because it's uncomfortable. And one of the things is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it doesn't mean when you walk in there that you like being uncomfortable. Whenever I spar somebody that's at a higher level than me, and it is more often than not, I find that I hate it at the time, and I walk out of there with my busted body and my busted spirit, but I want to come back because I know that if I can start the day or finish the day with that, when I come into work and things are hard or there's big decisions to make or there's family stuff and trauma or whatever it is, I call it my scheduled suffering. And your gym is the place that I go to do it. And it is one of the most empowering and wonderful things that anyone can do. So I encourage you, if you've got young children that are lacking a little bit of confidence, I know people are fearful of boxing because of head trauma and head injuries. I tell you what, I played football for 15 years and I got beaten around so much. I don't recall in boxing being concussed or anything like that. So obviously it is dangerous to do it, but in the space that you operate with, the way you do it with the big gloves and the headgear and the supervision, I would love my son to do it. He chooses to do other things, but I would be more than happy to introduce my children to that space. So I encourage people with young kids that they want them to grow physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that, to get into boxing, fitness, health, because it's more than just boxing.
Correct.
That's what I think. Kristy, what are your goals for the gym, and what's your plans for the future?
I think goals for the gym, Maddie, are to keep providing a quality service to the people that we've got. I think a lot of businesses can focus on too much on growth and forget about who's actually in front of them.
Yeah.
So for Mike and I and for Grant, we're always talking about how we can enhance the quality of service that we offer people that walk through our doors. And that's by offering events that get them out of their comfort zone, such as classes or special events, breathwork workshops, or social events where we can get people together.
Yeah.
I think our focus is always on that. The kids boxing is a big focus for us as well, because we have a lot of families that train with us, and the importance of that, I think, goes unrecognised for a lot of gyms, is that when you've got a family training there, often they'll stay with you and train with you a few times a week, right?
Yeah.
So the focus on that, I think I said to you, Maddie, we're not interested in multiple sites over Sydney. We just want to focus on the people that we've got there, provide the quality of service, continue to have some sort of quality of life ourselves. As you know, owning your own business can be quite tough. The hours are tough. And because we're a service industry, it can be really exhausting mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
So I think that for us is the focus.
Thanks. What about you, Mikey? You going to keep fighting? You going to fight when you're my age?
Yeah. For me, I'm going to box till I can't. Like, if I'm not boxing at 80, something's gone wrong. But in an ideal world, I'd be sitting on the side of the ring at FORMA training your grandkids.
Yeah. That's
But
beautiful.
money comes, money goes.
Yeah. Yeah. You grew up on the Northern Beaches. Kristy, when did you grow up?
Don't hate me for this. Born in Adelaide.
I don't hate you.
And
I've been to Adelaide once only, but
Once?
to play footy. I was a 13-year-old. It was great, but I'd never gone
Great
out.
place. And also grew up in Newcastle.
Okay. And then how did you come to the beaches? Did you come just like because you met Mike, or
No, I
Did you
was
meet
with
someone?
someone else.
not as nice?
Yeah. No, so that brought me to Sydney, and then Mike and I worked together for many years, but we were with other people. And then we both had a breakup at the same time. And I always tell this story that Mike got me when I was vulnerable and weak.
That a boy.
Yeah. And then, formed this great emotional connection, and
Two sides to every story.
the rest is history.
Yeah, she got you, and you're
Young and innocent.
young and
Yeah.
innocent.
Yeah.
Nice. And with regards to boxing, what advice would you give to parents that are thinking of getting their kids into boxing but not sure, is it the right thing, is it the wrong thing? Well, what would you say to a parent?
Great question. And a little bit of education goes a long way. And at some point we need to talk about you as a real estate agent as well, because there's a misconception out there about boxing and there's a misconception about real estate agents. And you're not what people think real estate agents are, which is why we get along so well. And boxing is not what most people think it is. The amount of people in my network, alcoholics, who have told me to stop boxing because it's bad for me. I have a few fantastic mentors in life, and I encourage everybody to have good mentors. And one is, she's my guardian angel. She's a psychologist I've had since I was a kid. And I do ask about CTE in the brain and stuff like that. And she says, Mike, a healthy brain needs vigorous exercise, community, good food, and a purpose. And she says boxing provides all those things for you. It far outweighs the head knocks or whatever. And in a safety conscious gym like ours, where the head knocks are pretty few and far between, if you want anything in life, Matt, and you have purpose, discipline, and a community, you're going to be sweet. And boxing provides all of those things. And what boxing or martial arts or jiu-jitsu or anything else provides is a level of resilience, which is missing in 99% of most people's lives today.
Yeah.
So boxing is a truth teller. It's not for everyone, the same as jiu-jitsu or any martial arts is not for anyone. But probably if you ask us what we want to be more than anything, we want to be good fathers. And we know that our kids need a level of resilience if they're going to survive in business or marriage or sport or anything. And boxing ticks all the boxes. Yeah. Community, purpose, resilience, teamwork, and it's hard. So I will argue that no one loves their daughter as much as what I do. And if she wants to box, she will box. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want anything to happen to my daughter, which is why she will box.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, well said, mate. Well said. And Kristy, how did you start to or compete in boxing? Because it wasn't your thing and it was Mike's thing. So my wife would never
Can I take this one?
Yes, well, you can start and then you can finish because you always get the last one.
I'm really proud of my time in the sport, and I'm only just learning, and I've got some great mentors who are teaching me more about the sport than ever. I'm 77 fights in. We've got some people representing Australia, some people who have been in New South Wales, and the greatest achievement I've ever had was my wife losing a boxing match. Because if you guys knew what we went through to get her in a boxing ring, I thought I was anxious. But this was like, we had planned for her to do a local show, and Chris pulled out at the last minute, which is a massive no-no in boxing. Not only you're letting yourself down, but you're letting the other team down, you're letting everybody down. It was nice for me a little bit because sometimes your partner doesn't really understand mental health until it happens to them. But to see her so vulnerable was pretty hard. And she just couldn't do it. So we were going to let that be. So we chose to do it in Adelaide. And the reason we chose to do it in Adelaide, if we're honest with ourselves, is because no one could see what was happening. And if it didn't go well,
It was okay.
no one could see what was happening.
Yeah.
But we even put the clothes on the night before. We had a plan that if it all got too much, she would pull her shoulder and we'd say that was it. But we just needed to get her in the ring.
Yeah. How did you feel getting in the ring and confronting that fear?
Maddie, I have to be honest with you, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and I've done some crazy shit, right? And like Mike said, I put myself through hell. Like my mind just played so many tricks on me. I was so anxious. I think I dropped a weight class in weight right before because I just couldn't eat because of the nerves. I wasn't sleeping. I was watching all these motivational videos just to try and get me in the zone. And poor Mike, like I put him through absolute hell. Like, and then the morning of the fight, I looked over at my opponent and I thought, oh my God, she had tattoos from sleeve to sleeve. And I thought, oh. And my goal was just to put my 2 feet in the ring and then Mike would throw in the towel.
Okay.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
That was the
Seriously, that was one of the.
goal. That was it.
That was one of your plans.
Yeah.
we had a plan.
You had a
for
backup plan.
everything.
Yeah.
And Chris put her headgear on, a mouth guard in. She looked like a chipmunk. Like she just, I was like, oh, seriously. She got in the ring, and in 20-something years of boxing, it was the worst round of boxing I've ever seen in my life. And I
did
just-
it. The towel didn't get thrown in.
She did the first round, and she came back with a big smile on her face, and I was bursting into tears. Yeah. I was like, yes, you've done it.
How good.
Yeah.
Amazing, eh?
We finished the fight. We didn't get the result, but we got the result that no one knew we were looking for.
Yeah, how good's that?
Yeah.
Oh, and I just remember
How long ago was that?
It's 2000 and
19.
not.
Oh,
in,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had blood, like my nose was open. She had blood everywhere. They had to stop the fight to clean us
Oh,
both up.
really?
Like it was all the things, Maddie, that I thought, oh, but I just had all these irrational thoughts. I wasn't fit enough. My arms wouldn't work. My legs wouldn't work. Like, and I told no one I was doing it, but not even my parents knew I was doing this fight. But after that experience, it made competing in gymnastics so much easier.
Absolutely.
I could get up on a beam in a leotard in front of people. And because I went through that, for me, I was just desensitized. And it made my life easier in terms of putting myself in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
So I encourage anyone to get out of their comfort zone and do something that scares the hell out of them.
Yeah.
You should be a better person for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, really wonderful advice. Wonderful advice. What else do I want to ask you guys? Anything hard hitting? How long have you been married?
We've been together coming to our 19th year. We got married in 2013.
And you've got 2 beautiful children.
2 kids,
Tell us about your children, what they're into.
Connor's 23. He's into, I'd love to know what he's into because he doesn't talk to us.
Yeah, at that age, I've got a 22-year-old.
He's
good, but
he's got a good job.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I want the best for my children. I'm probably a little bit hard on him, but I've never heard him swear. I don't have to worry about being in trouble. He saves his money. He's a really, really, really good kid.
Yeah.
And then our daughter, Matilda, she's 11. She's my best friend in the whole world.
Yeah.
She's into everything, and it's just as hard on herself as what we are. But yeah, she's the best.
That's great.
Yeah.
And love living on the northern beaches?
Yeah, I was born and bred here. It's changing a little bit. But like you with real estate and us with gyms and that, you just be the change that you like see in everybody else. You know, freshwater's not what it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But we're very lucky to live here. And yeah, so.
Wonderful. And now, what advice would you give to a fighter in his 50s, not sure whether he should put the gloves on, get in the ring,
Yeah.
not sure whether it's the right thing at his age? Everyone says that's, why would you do that? What would you say to that person as to whether to do it or not, if they really wanted to?
Yeah.
They were scared.
So, like I said before, I can't emphasize enough about having good mentors, right? And I won't take advice from anyone who's not in a position that I would like to be. I have some mentors who help me with my marriage because it's the most important thing for me. And if they don't have a good marriage, I'm not going to ask them.
Of course.
And that person that wants to box, the people who's telling them not to, what are they doing that's so fucking special?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're where you would like to be, listen to what they have to say. But nobody working harder than you or trying harder than you or with more purpose or more dedication is ever going to tell you you can't do something. It's only the people who are jealous or don't want to do the work. If you want to know what I think about you, I reckon you got 25 years of boxing in you. That's what I think.
Can you tell my wife?
I can
Tell
tell
you
you
arthritic shoulders and spine surgery and ankle arthritis is irrelevant. Can you just tell her? Tell the camera.
So, for me, talking about you and the Masters, it's not about who's doing the best. It's about who's doing the best with what they've got.
Yes.
Right? So it's why I would really appreciate the Masters, because they have so many other commitments but still find time. I love having people like you in the gym, because you talk about the young kids we have, but you're responsible for that. They see somebody like you, they see somebody like you who refuses to let anything stop them from doing what they want to achieve. Right? So how can a kid stand there and not try, and the guy with 2 busted shoulders who's running a wonderful business with a beautiful family, who's worked his ass off, is doing what I'm asking the kids to do? So they say it takes a village to raise a family, and you're a large part of the village that is FORMA.
Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
All I've done with this fucking podcast is cry.
That's all right, mate. But
I take great inspiration from yourself.
Thank you, mate.
And not all real estate agents are doing what you're doing, which is why I'm willing to give up my time and look like a fool on your podcast. It's out of respect for you, and the general public need to know that not all people are doing what these guys are doing here. And it's the fish rods from the head down. So it's not just you, it's Steve, it's Christian. It's a common theme I see in your staff. And you all work hard, you're also respectful, you're also polite, you're also willing to learn. And if that's how you do fitness, I can only imagine that's how you do real estate, business, family, everything.
You know, we try. We're still practicing.
Yeah,
and we don't always get it right, but we strive to get better.
Yeah,
and we get that out of you.
We all are. But in terms of the message for the 50-year-old boxer, I think you got 25 years left. That's what I honestly think.
That's what I wanted to hear, Coach.
Well, think about how good you could be in a year's time. And remember, having the young kids in the gym keeps us young. But when it comes time to box, you're boxing a guy in your position. You're going to be way ahead.
No, thank you. And Kristy, when you're dealing with potential clients that are probably not living as healthy a lifestyle as they would like, maybe they're in careers or they've been caught up with their families, ladies, for example, what would you say to them when they're like, oh, I don't know if I should go to the gym. I want to get fit, but where do I start? How do I start? What would you give to those people in advice?
I think, Maddie, the important thing is always to meet your client where they're at. So get a good gauge of what their fears are. A lot of women are scared to train in the gym because they feel intimidated. And so one of the things about FORMA that we try really hard to demystify is that our gym is not intimidating.
God, no. Yeah.
It's non-threatening. There's not tripods set up with people filming themselves for TikTok videos. It's a place for normal people to feel safe and to feel like they can achieve their goals without people looking at them or judging them. So I think if you're that sort of 40 or 50-year-old that wants to get fit, don't be fearful.
Yeah.
Just get in the doors, and we always say we will do the rest. We will look after the rest. We just need you to get yourself there.
Yeah, that's the first step.
That's the first step.
I think you should be fearful, to be fair, fearful of not being honest with yourself. Life is so short. Why would you want to spend the rest of your days being fat, sick and tired, or having a disease that you don't need to have? You should be fearful, not fearful of exercise, fearful of
the results if you don't.
I think exercise and being nice to people, most people, some people don't deserve it, but exercise and being nice to people is the rent you pay for being a human. There's a non-negotiables. Be fearful of not doing that. I understand, but eat an elephant one bite at a time. Show up, do something, you'll feel better for it.
Yeah.
That's it.
One step at a time. I see people on TikTok videos and that with all their different things that they're doing, and sometimes I just want to say to people, just take the first step.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, walk.
Yeah.
People say I can't do exercise for this. You can go for a walk.
You can.
You can walk up the steps instead of the escalator. Don't take the lift. Do the stairs. little things like that on a daily basis. I just think you guys instill in so many people the positives that make the world better. And the moment I walked into the gym and I felt the energy, was welcomed as part of the community. I can just walk in there, speak my mind, know when I'm not giving, that the coaches will give me the tough love that I need, and totally respectful of that, because we all need that sometimes. It's not always hugs and kisses. It's sometimes extremely uncomfortable. Sometimes Mike will say, yeah, spar that person or that person. I'm thinking, I don't think I can do it. And Mikey just gives me the look as if to say, if I didn't think you could do it, I wouldn't let you do it. But you're only going to get better by putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. So I just want to say thank you for what you give at FORMA Battaglia. Your gym, your fitness space is world class. And it's not just what you do, it's who you are as people, as parents, as family members, as business owners. Everything about you just is good. And that's why I love being there. That's why I wanted to bring you in and share a little bit of your story with our community. Our community is a real estate community, but we're all people doing our best, wanting longevity, peace of mind, body, and spirit. And you guys bring that in abundance. So thank you for joining us on our podcast.
Thank you.
And it's always a pleasure being here with you.